8 laps, top 4 to the A. Green is out, heat race number 1. Trey Jacobs right around the tires to the infield, but it's Stuart Brubaker who slingshots into the lead down the backstretch. Good race for that 3rd spot. Remember the top 2 redraw. For starting spots 1 through 12 in tonight's feature event. Stuart Brubaker took a nasty crash here a couple weeks ago after charging from 15th up into the top 5. He's out front of this one. Trey Jacobs in that 2nd spot. Casey Jedrzejek started 5th. He is up to 3rd. Big puff of smoke. 4th and final transfer spot to your quick qualifier. Cody Brewer, but here comes Zeth Sabo in the 29 to his rear bumper. Cross flags for him, 4 to go. Stuart Brubaker, Trey Jacobs, Casey Jedrzejek. Battle for the final transfer spot. Cody Brewer and Zeth Sabo. Van Gurley Jr. starting to reel that duo in. The lead, 1.6 seconds for Stuart Brubaker down the backstretch. Trey Jacobs, who started the year in the Capit Ice 12. Big puff of smoke out of the family-owned 3J. Down the front stretch. Jedrzejek from 5th to 3rd settles into that position as the white flag goes in the air. Cody Brewer pulling away a little bit from Zeth Sabo for that final transfer spot. In only his 2nd year of 410 racing. Checkered flag in the air for the Crown Battery Heat Race number 1. Goes to Stuart Brubaker. He and Trey Jacobs eligible for the redraw. Casey Jedrzejek 3rd. And that final transfer spot to Cody Brewer, Zeth Sabo, Max Stambaugh, Van Gurley Jr., and Mike Keegan complete the field. Lights out on the speedway. Mike Bussey will take that beautiful Ballman Auto Group pace truck to the infield. 8 laps, top 4 to the A, top 2 redraw, starting spots 1 through 12 in tonight's feature event. So the top 2 in each of the 5 heats, and then the fastest qualifier transfers to the feature in the first half of the field, and the second half of the field will be your top 12 redraw spots. Green out. Devin Borden grabs the lead down the backstretch. Bryce Lucius races to his inside. 3 wide for 3rd out of turn 4. Chris Andrews, Caleb Henry, and Leighton Wagner. Red, hard, upside down. TJ Michael and Bobby Elliott upside down in turn 2. Six cars, top 4 move on. Devin Borden out front of this one. Former Port Royal Speedway track champion, going to follow the All-Star Circuit of Champions. And that Brian Grove Racing number 45. He pulls away down the backstretch. Bryce Lucius in 2nd. Here comes Chris Andrews and Caleb Henry. Henry also going to follow the All-Stars this year. That Jim Muth number 101. Andrews takes a peek to the inside of Bryce Lucius, loses his momentum in turn 2. That allows Caleb Henry to get a big run on him on the outside in turns 3 and 4. Devin Borden's lead a tick over a second down the backstretch. Bryce Lucius, the 2023 National 410 Rookie of the Year. Big slide job for 3rd. Caleb Henry crossover move for Chris Andrews to regain the 3rd spot. Gonna do it again in turns 3 and 4. This time he's gonna make it stick out of turn 4. Caleb Henry started 5th in this one, but now he slides up the racetrack, opens the door for Chris Andrews to try to get back by. 2 laps to go as they cross the start finish. Oh! Left rear tire heads up in the pits. Leighton Wagner loses a tire and wheel off the backstretch. Keep in mind, top 2 redraw for starting spots 1 through 12 in tonight's 30-lap $5,000 to win feature event. Caleb Henry from 5th to 3rd is going to put the pressure on the youngster out of Findlay, Ohio, Bryce Lucius. Devenport on the loud pedal out of turn 4, green back out. Chris Andrews takes a peek underneath Caleb Henry for the 3rd spot. Here comes Bryce Lucius to the inside of Devin Borden, white flag in the air. Look at Chris Andrews on the bottom of the racetrack, pressuring for that 2nd spot, for that redraw position. Checkered flag in the air for Devin Borden. Bryce Lucius will come home 2nd. Chris Andrews 3rd. Caleb Henry 4th. And Chris Miller rounding out the field. Justin Clark heading back to the pit area in the number 97. Here we go, green out. Sean Rahal goes from the bottom to the top. In turns 1 and 2, that opens the bottom door to Max Guilford. Here comes Cap Henry. What a move down the backstretch for the 33W from 4th to 2nd in half a lap. Scotty Thiel, Max Guilford, Henry Melquick, battling back there for that 3rd spot. Sean Rahal out front of this one. But here comes, Rahal with problems. In turns 1 and 2. Slowing to a stop, and upside down goes the 70 of Henry Melquick. All kinds of things happening over there in turn 2. Your leader lost power. Single file past that. Truck works well. Restart code green out. Cap Henry flies out in front of this one. He started 4th. He was your quick qualifier in this heat. Scotty Thiel in that 2nd spot. Max Guilford 3rd. Lance Heimgartner 4th. That's the final transfer position. Here comes Sean Rahal, who led the first 2 laps. Cross flags in the air, 4 and 4 to go for Cap Henry. He is pulling away down the backstretch. His lead, 1.3 seconds that time by. Heck of a battle now for the final transfer spot. Give it to Sean Rahal. Last time we saw Max Guilford here was last year's Ohio Sprint Speed Week for the New Zealand resident. White flag will be in the air. Nearly a 2-second lead out of turn 4 for Cap Henry. Scotty Thiel in 2nd. Max Guilford 3rd. Sean Rahal 4th. Lance Heimgartner complete the field. Already through turns 3 and 4. Taking the Leuna heat race win will be Cap Henry. 2nd, Scotty Thiel. 3rd, Max Guilford. Final transfer to Sean Rahal. Lance Heimgartner complete the field. Brian Sabito, Sterling Kling, bring them down to the green. Brian Sabito taking off too early. There's a big tractor tire down there in the infield. It's painted bright orange. That is where they need to be side by side. Try it again out of turn 4. Brian Speedo likes that high line, so he's trying to get off the bottom of the racetrack. He gets a good start this time in turn 4, right out in front of Sterling Kling to the high line in 1 and 2. Kling slides up the racetrack. They almost make contact. Sabito off the track, back on the track, and here comes the 15K of Creed Kemanaugh. Four-starter Kemenow battling for the lead. Sterling Kling, Creed Kemenow, Brian Sabito duking out up front. Slider in 1 and 2. Kling returns the favor down the backstretch. Here comes Kemenow down to the inside of turn 4. Zane DeVault in that 4th and final transfer spot. He's got pressure now from the 22M of Dan McCarron. McCarron to the inside. He'll take the 4 spot from DeVault. Creed Kemenow, Sterling Kling still duking it out up front of this one. 3 in, they'll see the cross flags this time by. Halfway home, now Sterling Kling pulls away from Kemenow. Sabito continues to run 3rd, good race for the final transfer position. Zane DeVault goes up to the top shelf in 1 and 2. Dan McCarron slides up in front of him, they make contact, exiting turn 2. Sterling Kling, Creed Kemenow, Brian Sabito. Sabito now down to the bottom in 1 and 2. Loses his momentum exiting as he slides up the racetrack. He'll go back to the cushion in 3 and 4. So Creed Kemenow in that final redraw starting spot in 2nd. Made stuff happen early in the races. They race to the white flag. Sterling Kling, Creed Kemenow, Brian Sabito, Dan McCarron, your top 4. Front nose wing on the 4 of Zane DeVault has collapsed. Checker flag will fall for Sterling Kling, Creed Kemenow, Brian Sabito, and Dan McCarron put it in the show. Green out for the 5th and final 410 heat. Jordan Ryan, Larry Kingsey Jr. battling for the lead as they go side by side in the 3 and 4. 3 wide for the 3rd spot right behind them. Jordan Ryan leads lap number 1 over Larry Kingsey Jr. DJ Foose, Nate Dussel side by side for the 3rd spot. Jordan Ryan, Larry Kingsey Jr. still side-by-side problems for the 1 of Nate Dussel. Off the pace into 1 and 2. Now he gets back on the gas. As DJ Foose reels in the top 2 and problems for the 1 of Nate Dussel. And he will go to the infield. Oh, off the backstretch. Yellow, maybe. Single file past the Truck Works of Ohio restart cone. 4 laps in, 4 to go. Jordan Ryan drops the hammer in turn 4. Leads him down the front stretch. He'll go to the top shelf. Opens up the bottom. Larry Kingsey Jr., Craig Mintz in 3rd. Cody Bova, the 4th and final transfer spot. Here comes DJ Foose trying to rally. Larry Kingsey Jr. still pestering the 25R to the inside. The lead that time, 0.2 of a second. Here comes Larry Kingsey Jr. again to the inside. DJ Foose the outside of Cody Bova as they go wing to wing down the backstretch. The white flag in the air. That's the final transfer spot. Bova making that 20B awfully wide. Foose tries to the inside of him. Can't make. Coming to the checkered flag on your perfect. Heat race number 5 will be Jordan Ryan. 2nd, Larry Kingsey Jr. Craig Mintz 3rd. Final transfer to Cody Bova. DJ Foose, Jerry Doms, and Nate Dussel complete the field. Bowman Auto Group pace truck from the infield. First of 5 heats for the Fremont Fence and Guardrail 305 sprints. 41 cars strong tonight. Charge into turns 1 and 2. Logan Monjou takes a run to his outside. Here comes Casey Ziebel on the bottom of the racetrack. Jimmy McGrath Jr. off the backstretch, back on the racetrack as he runs to her outside. John Ivy leads lap 1 over Logan Monjou, side by side for the third spot. Jimmy McGrath Jr. in the 5 Junior, the X15 at Casey Zebold. Randy Rubel runs in that 5th spot. It's been all John Ivy in this one. Battle shaping up for second, though. Logan Monjou in the 3M down on the bottom of the racetrack. Jimmy McGrath Jr. to the high side. Cross flags go in the air, 4 in, 4 to go. It's been all John Ivy since the drop of the green flag. Good race shaping up for second now, though. Logan Monjou, Jimmy McGrath Jr., and Casey Zebold. Zebold's found something on the bottom of the racetrack as she moves to the inside of Jimmy McGrath and takes the third spot. Sets her sights on Logan Monjou. Look at Casey Zebold in the X15 on the bottom of the racetrack. Jimmy Leeser stops in turn 4 to bring out the caution. Here comes Casey Zebold, bottom of the racetrack. The inside of Logan Monjou. Top 2 redraw, keep that in mind as she takes the second spot, 3 and 4 to the white flag. Monjou gonna go up top. She pulls away from him down the backstretch. Checkered flag gonna fall for John Ivy. Casey Zebold comes home second, third. Logan Monjou, final transfer spot to Jimmy McGrath Jr. Second of 5 heats for the 305 sprints and 3 heats of the late models. Be 2 B mains in the 410 sprints and 2 B mains in the 305s and a B main in the late models as well. Paul Weaver, Dustin Stroop. Power into turn number 1. Stroop up in front of Weaver off the racetrack. That opens the door for Jamie Miller. The thriller Jamie Miller up to the second spot. He'll bring along the 19R of Steve Rando into third. Paul Weaver trying to battle back into 1W. Run out of real estate real quick off that backstretch. Dustin Stroop in charge of this one. Out of turn number 2, Jamie Miller in second, Steve Rando third, Paul Weaver the 4th and final transfer spot. String out down the backstretch. Down to complete lap number 5. Dustin Stroop, Jamie Miller, Steve Rando, Paul Weaver, Austin Black, Chris Smith, and David Hoppus. Flag will be in the air out of turn 4 for Dustin Stroop. Looking strong, pulling away from Jamie Miller. Miller may be saving the car a little bit, and all he has to do is finish top 2 for that redraw spot. Through turns 3 and 4 for the final time, picking up the heat race win. Going to be Dustin Stroop. Jamie Miller comes home second. Steve Rando in third. Paul Weaver moves into the ninth main. Hammer dropped in turn 4, green out for heat race 3, Dustin Dinan. DJ Foose lead the charge into turns 1 and 2. Seth Schneider up to the 3rd spot. Big slide job for the lead, DJ Foose on Dustin Dinan, who crosses over, leads lap number 1. Foose in 2nd, Seth Schneider in 3rd, Brendan Turok. That final transfer spot, Logan Reel in 5th, Brandon Moore in 6th. Brandon Moore up to challenge Logan Reel now for the 5th spot. As here comes Seth Schneider to the inside of DJ Foose. He'll take the 2nd position down the backstretch. Dustin Dinan pulling away. Battle is for 2nd. Seth Schneider, DJ Foose, Brendan Turok complete your top 4. They string out down the backstretch. 2 to go in this one. Fast pace set by Dustin Dinan. White flag in the air one more time around. It's been all Dustin Dinan. Seth Schneider from 4th to 2nd. DJ Foose in 3rd. Brendan Turok, that final transfer spot as the checkered flag falls for Dustin Dinan. Seth Schneider will come home 2nd. 3rd, DJ Foose. Brendan Turok, the final transfer spot. Logan Reel, Brandon Moore, Brayton Harrison, and James Sam complete the field. For heat race number 4, Chad Wilson leads the charge into 1 and 2. Jackson Sabito in 2nd. Here comes Zach Kramer. And that purple and white 8K on the move. Lane Keckler now moves into the 3rd spot. Sabito fights back 3 wide for 3rd. Keep an eye on the 28 of Sean Valenti, who started scratch in this heat race, or was scheduled to start scratch. He is up to 4th and looking for more after getting into the turn 4 wall in qualifying. The 28 car on the move. Chad Wilson up front of this one. Zach Kramer in 2nd. The battle is for 3rd. Blaine Keckler and Sean Valenti. Valenti hangs on off the racetrack, back on, holds on to that 4th and final transfer spot. Here's the cross flags, 4 in, 4 to go. Oh, hang on to high side of turn 4. Yellow, 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 yellow. Final transfer spot. Single file pass at Truckworks of Ohio. Restart cone, green out. Valenti going to go right to the cushion in 1 and 2. Can't make it stick. Opens the door for Jackson Sabito to slide into the 4th spot. He'll bring along Mike Moore. Chad Wilson pulling away out front of this one. Zach Kramer in 2nd. Blaine Keckler in 3rd. The battle is for that final transfer position. Jackson Sabito, Mike Moore, and Sean Valenti. One more time around. Here comes Mike Moore racing the inside of Sabito. Sabito slams the door in 1 and 2. Out of turn 4, taking the heat race wing, going to be Chad Wilson. 2nd, Zach Kramer. 3rd, Blaine Keckler. Heat race for the final transfer spot for Jackson Sabito. Green flag out. Bradley Bateson takes charge down the backstretch. Young Jimmy McCune Jr. into that second spot. Tyler Schulich in the third. Daniel Hoffman in the fourth position. Matt Foose from the tail up to fifth in the 2F in one lap. Foose to the outside of Hoffman for that fourth and final transfer spot. Foose from the tail up to fourth as Bradley Bateson pulls away down the backstretch. Here comes Tyler Schulich to challenge Jimmy McCune Jr. for the runner-up position. Cross flags in the air, 4 in, 4 to go. Bradley Bateson. Tyler Schulich now into the second spot. McCune tries to fight back to the inside. Nearly a 3-second lead for Bradley Bateson down the backstretch through turns 3 and 4. Tyler Schulich from fourth to second. Jimmy McCune in third. From 8th to 4th, Matt Foose. Foose the outside of McCune for the third spot. He'll take it out of turn 4. White flag in the air for Bradley Bateson. Nearly 3-second lead. Tyler Schulich in second, Matt Foose from last to third, Jimmy McCune Jr. in fourth, Daniel Huffman, Steve Watts, Drew Seifert. Checkered flag out of turn 4 for Bradley Bateson. Tyler Schulich second, Matt Foose third, Jimmy McCune Jr. puts it in the show. In that fourth spot, Daniel Huffman, Steve Watts, Drew Seifert, Trevor St. Clair complete the field. The inside of Dominic De Niro out of Mansfield, Ohio, the 22, and Nate Potts out of Republic, Ohio, the 29 on the tail. 8 laps, top 5 to tonight's feature event. Top 2 redraw for starting spots, 1 through 8 in the feature. Green out. Colin Shipley will take charge down the backstretch, sliding into second. Devin Shields. Rusty Schlenk trying to wind it up on the high side. He's got company to the inside of Todd Brennan. Colin Shipley out front of this one. Devin Shields into the second spot. Rusty Schlenk third. Fourth, Todd Brennan, and Mike Morris, the fifth and final transfer position. Colin Shipley from the drop for the green flag. Devin Shields up a position into that runner-up spot as the cross flags go in the air. 4 laps in, 4 to go. Devin Shields starting to close the gap on Colin Shipley. The lead only 0.6 of a second that lap by. Rusty Schlenk comfortably in the third spot. Todd Brennan in fourth. Mike Borse, the fifth and final transfer position. Chester Fitch, Braden Shields, Nate Potts, and Dominic De Niro round out the field. Took a 10th off the lead that time. Devin Shields on Colin Shipley. But unfortunately, they only got 2 left-hand turns. And taking the heat race win, going to be Colin Shipley. Second goes to Devin Shields. Third, Rusty Schlenk. Todd Brennan in fourth and Mike Borse. Top 5 moving into tonight's Amen. Cody Scott going to lead lap number 1 over Rob Anderzak, J.R. Gentry, Ryan Markham. Dylan Jensen, the rookie, into that 5th and final transfer position. Cody Scott, Rob Anderzak. Side by side for the 3rd position. J.R. Gentry in that 14. Ryan Markham in the 5M. Throw blanket on the top 4 out of turn 4. Here comes Anderzak to the outside of Cody Scott for the lead. Anderzak head of steam on the high side of turn 2. They go door to door down the backstretch, racing to the cross flags, signifying halfway home. Heat race number 2, and we got a barnburner Rob Anderzak to the lead. Cody Scott in 2nd. Here comes J.R. Gentry. As Kent Brewer calls it a race and heads back to the pit area. Anderzak, Scott, Gentry throw a blanket on the top 3 in turns 1 and 2. Scott fighting back to the inside of Anderzak. Cody Scott down to the inside, Anderzak to the outside. 2 laps to go. Here comes J.R. Gentry, tries to split him down the backstretch. Gentry down to the inside now of Anderzak for the lead out of turn 4 to the white flag. Rob Anderzak, J.R. Gentry, Cody Scott, Ryan Markham, nose to tail down the backstretch one final time. Taking the heat race win, going to be Rob Anderzak. J.R. Gentry, 2nd, Cody Scott, 3rd, 4th, Ryan Markham. Final transfer spot up for grabs out of turn 4. Give it to Dylan Jensen by 7/100th of a second. Kyle Moore takes charge down the backstretch. Here comes Casey Noonan in the 1. Nathan Loney, Justin Chance, Greg Haskell battle for that 3rd spot. Problems for Greg Haskell. Left front, locked up on him there in turns 1 and 2. Got it, broke free. He'll maintain that 5th and final transfer spot. Kyle Moore pulling way down the backstretch. Casey Noonan comfortably in 2nd. Justin Chance runs 3rd. Nathan Loney in the 4th spot. Greg Haskell, the final transfer position. Joe Smith, Cameron Tusing, and Chaz Dawson complete the field. Now down to the inside of Justin Chance. They go door to door for 3rd. 2 laps to go. Spin all Kyle Moore. What a year he had last year. At one point, I think he had 10 straight feature wins between Attica and Wayne County Speedway. White flag in the air for Kyle Moore. Casey Noonan, Nathan Loney, Justin Chance, and Greg Haskell. 2 left-hand turns out of turn 4, taking the heat race win. Going to be Kyle Moore. 2nd. Going to go to Casey Noonan 3rd. Nathan Loney 4th. Justin Chance. Final transfer to Greg Haskell. Joe Smith, Cameron Tusing, and Chaz Dawson complete the field. Your top 5. Who can beat tonight's A main? 8 laps, top 2. Move on the first of 2 B mains 4. The Catalyst Performance Products 410 sprints. 8 cars, 8 laps. Green is out. Zess Sabo jumps into the lead, but here comes DJ Foose racing to his inside. Foose leads lap 1 over Zess Sabo. DJ Foose, Zess Sabo pulling away. DJ Foose, Zess Sabo pulling away. Nate Dussel now into the 3rd spot. White flag in the air for DJ Foose, Zess Sabo, Nate Dussel. Final B main for the 4-turn sprints. Zane DeVault out in front of this one. Here comes Mad Max Standball, big move on Chris Miller. He'll take that 2nd spot. Miller back to 3rd. Mike Keegan, Jerry Doms battling for the 4th position. Zane DeVault pulling away. Max Standball comfortably in 2nd. The rookie Chris Smith doing a great job in from the tail. Cross flags, 4 in, 4 to go. Zane DeVault's lead, nearly 3.5 seconds. Pulls away, laps winding down, 2 to go. Mike Keegan from the tail to 3rd, but does he have enough time to catch Max Standball for that final transfer spot? The white flag goes in the air. Once again, the front wing on Zane DeVault's car has fallen down. Happened in his heat race, and it has happened again in the B main. But he'll hang on and take the checkered flag. Max Standball, the final transfer spot. Mike Keegan, Chris Miller, Jet Man, and Jerry Doms complete the field. Green out. Randy Rubel leads the charge into turns 1 and 2. Here comes Logan Reel to his outside. He'll take the lead. Logan Reel, Randy Rubel behind them side by side. Daniel Hoffman and Sean Valeni. Sean Valenti, big run off the bottom of turn 2 to the inside of Randy Rubel. That's the final transfer spot. They go wing to wing out of 3 and 4. Move the 28 of Sean Valenti into the runner-up spot. Rubel tries to fight back out of turn 2. That allows Logan Reel to pull away out front of this one. Oh, upside down hard. The old 9 of Daniel Hoffman. Hoffman got over the right rear tire of the 63 and it launched him. Green out, 4 laps in, 4 to go. Logan Reel, Sean Valenti battling for the lead. They pull away from Randy Rubel. Only the top 2 move on. J.J. Hennis now to the rear bumper. Randy Rubel for 3rd. 2 laps to go. Logan Reel races to the white flag. One more time around. Through turns 3 and 4, one final time. Moving on to the night's A main will be Logan Reel in the 9R and Sean Valenti in the 28. Randy Rubel comes home 3rd. J.J. Hennis 4th. Brayton Harrison. Drew Seifert. Here we go, Greeno. Mike Moore, Chris Smith go side by side for the lead. Here comes the 12X of Brandon Moore on the move. Mike Moore in charge of this one. Brandon Moore, his brother, into the 2nd spot. Oh, upside down. I believe that's Tony Alvarez upside down in turn 2. Single file past that Truckworks Wild restart cone. 6 laps remaining. It's the Moore brothers, Mike and Brandon, out front of this one. Reed is back out. Brandon Moore pull away from Chris Smith, who runs 3rd. Lee Summers in that 4th spot. Stephen Watts, your top 5. There's the cross flags. Race down the backstretch to the white flag. Mike Moore, Brandon Moore. the white flag goes in the air. One more timer out. Checker flag falls for Mike Moore. Brandon Moore will come home second. Chris Smith in third. Lee Summers fourth. Stephen Watts in top five. Jimmy Leeser, Brian Razum complete the field. Out front of this one. Steve Sabo in second. Braden Shields, Joe Smith battling for the third position. Kent Brewer, Cameron Tusing right behind them as they pull away from the rest of the field. 6 cars battling for the top 5. Wide for second out of turn 2. Joe Smith splits Steve Sabo, Braden Shields. Smith to the outside of Chester Fitch takes the lead as they race to the cross flags. 5 in, 5 to go. Steve Sabo in third to battle for fourth. Kemp Brewer, Braden Shields, and Cameron Tusing. Nate Potts off the high side of turn 2, spinning backwards, brings out the caution flag. Braden Shields in that 4th spot. 5th and final transfer position right now to Cameron Tusing. Dominic De Niro right on his rear deck lid. Hammer dropped in turn 3 and 4. Green is out. Joe Smith, Chester Fitch pull away. Good battle for third. Braden Shields, Cameron Tusing, and Dominic De Niro. And now Cameron Tusing, who is running in the 4th spot, spins. De Niro into the 3rd spot. Here comes Chester Fitch challenging for the lead. 2 to go. Keep an eye on Chaz Dawson in that 33 on the move in the high side of the racetrack. Checkered flag in the air for Joe Smith. Chester Fitch will come home second. Chaz Dawson third, fourth. Dominic De Niro and Braden Shields the 5th and final transfer spot. Race fans, make some noise. What do you say? Attica Raceway Park. Woman Auto Group pace truck to the infield. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here at Attica Raceway Park, it's time to get dirty for 30. Scotty Theo leads lap at number 1. Devin Borden. Here comes Chris Andrews on the bottom of the racetrack. Chris Andrews trying to make it 2 in a row. Green out. Andrews right down to the bottom of the racetrack. Thiel off the high side. Devin Borden in 3rd. Jordan Ryan up to the 4th spot. Here comes Bryce Lucius in the 32. Keep an eye on 12th starter Cap Henry. Henry already up to 7th. Down to complete lap number 5. Scotty Theo pulling away now from Chris Andrews. Good race for 3rd. Devin Borden, Jordan Ryan, Cap Henry, Bryce Lucius, and Cody Brewer. Your leader will encounter lap traffic here in another couple laps. Cap Henry on the move. Around Devin Borden into the 3rd spot. Here comes Cap Henry. Your leader set to get into heavy lap traffic. His lead right now over 3 seconds. Heavy lap traffic for Scotty Thiel. Chris Andrews continues to run 2nd, but here comes Cap Henry. Thiel's lead 3.5 seconds that last time by. 10 laps in, a 1/3 of the way home. Keep an eye on Casey Jedrzejek into the 6th spot. Jedrzejek started 13th in this one. Cap Henry, Chris Andrews side by side for that 2nd spot. Oh, Chris Andrews spins in turn 2. Oh my goodness. Scotty Thiel, Cap Henry pull away now from Devin Borden. Casey Jedrzejek. Problems for the 11N of Casey Jedrzejek as he pulls to the infield. tough break for the young man who was up to fourth. Cross flags go in the air halfway home for Scotty Thiel. How about Craig Mintz up into the 5th spot? Mintz started back in 16th. Still has half the race to get up there. Heavy lap traffic ahead for your leaders. Devin Borton starting to rally, catching the top 2. Lead less than a second. "12 laps to go for Scotty Thiel. His lead a tick over a second as he races into lap traffic. Ten laps to go. Devin Borton starting to pick up the wick here in the 45. Here comes Cap Henry to the rear bumper of Scotty Thiel. Dives down to the inside with 8 laps to go, side by side. Cap Henry on the bottom of the racetrack lap car. Here he goes again. Now Thiel goes down to block. Henry again. Onto the cushion this time. 6 laps to go. Cap Henry to the rear bumper. He goes to the high side. 5 flanges go in the air. 5 to go. Here we go. Henry on the bottom of the racetrack down the backstretch. He's going to go right back to the cushion. 4 laps to go. Barn burner here at Attica. Lap car gets in the way. Devin Borton into Cap Henry. Devin Borton on the move in the 45. 2 laps to go. Cody Brewer off the high side of turn 2. Yellow flag. Goes to the cushion. Green out. Everybody goes to the top side except for the 101 of Caleb Henry. A white flag in the air for Scotty Thiel. Down the backstretch one final time. Here comes Devin Borton, tries the big flyer, can't make it stick. Checker flag for Scotty Thiel. Scotty Thiel disqualified for a too big of a wicker bill on the top wing. Devin Borton will be your winner. Young man out of Washington, going up top, make some noise for Devin Borton! Well, a car gets disqualified, but I don't know if that caution doesn't come out if you don't beat him anyway. You just passed him for the lead.
Yeah, I think we were going to get him there. Unfortunately, that caution came out. Yeah, I mean, that definitely really sucked. I was thinking I might be able to get him on the restart, but our engine, we detuned a little too much, and it wasn't taking off very good on the starts and stuff, so I was struggling on the restarts, you know. But yeah, that was quite the surprise. He got DQ'd at the scales, so we'll take it.
You and Cap Henry got together down here hard in turns 3 and 4. He kind of expressed his displeasure with you right before that restart.
Yeah, he did. I mean, happens, you know. I'm going for the win. Obviously, I didn't try to run in the side of him, but at the same time, I'm going for it, and it's the name of the game, you know. Sometimes just happens. It's racing.
It's been a minute since we've seen you in victory lane anywhere, and to come back here to Attica and get it done, pretty cool for you and the Brian Grove Racing team.
No, this is awesome. Yeah, I'm just super appreciative for the whole Grove Racing team. You know, Brian, Marty, Alex, Junior, man, they just all bust their asses and doing a hell of a job. That was a super fast race car tonight. Yeah, I'm just super excited, and man, I didn't think I'd be in victory lane tonight at Attica. That's pretty badass. So
Devin Borton gets it done tonight at Attica Raceway Park. As they come down the front stretch, wave those hats, wave your hands, make some noise. What do you say, Attica Raceway Park? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls here at Attica Raceway Park, it's time to jump and jive for 25. Todd Brennan out front of this one, but we got 3 cars duking it out. Brennan, J.R. Gentry, and Rusty Schlank. Gentry to the cushion in 3 and 4. Schlank down to the inside. Kyle Moore into the 4th spot. Devin Shields up the 5th. 4 laps in, they run nose to tail for the lead. Schlank down to the inside once again. Can't make the pass. He's going to try the cushion in 3 and 4 this time. New leader out of turn 4, Rusty Schlank. Another couple laps, he will get to the back of the pack, and they are racing side by side. 7 laps in for Rusty Schlank. J.R. Gentry, 1 spins. Spinner in turn 2. Single file restart by that Truck Works of Ohio restart cone. Rusty Schlank trying to make it 3 in a row. 3 wide for second out of turn 2. Here comes the 20 of Todd Brennan. And the 1 star of Kyle Moore. J.R. Gentry holds on to that 2nd spot. Moore now. Casey Noonan spins in turn 2 to bring out the caution with 8 laps in. Coming back to the green flag, 8 laps in. Still a long way to go in this one. Kyle Moore likes the bottom of that racetrack. Pulls to the inside of the 20. of Todd Brennan for that third spot. Here comes Devin Shields as well. Keep an eye on flying Ryan Markham in the 5M up into the 7th position. He started 11th. The lead, 1.5 seconds for Rusty Schlenk. 11 laps in, this time by J.R. Gentry continues to run second. Third, Kyle Moore. Fourth to the 20 of Todd Brennan. Devin Shields, your top 5. Lap cars ahead for Rusty Schlenk. Schlenk finds the first back marker out of turn 4. The lead over 2 seconds for Rusty Schlenk. 14 laps go in the books. Move Devin Shields up to the 4th spot. 10 laps to go. The lead, 2.3 seconds. Nathan Loney on the move, up into the 6th position. He started 10th in this. Gentry has brought the lead down to 1.8 seconds with 7 laps to go. Gentry mired in heavy lap traffic though. That allows Kyle Moore to close in the battle for second. Kyle Moore into the 2nd spot. Does he have enough time to chase down Rusty Schlenk, whose lead is 3 seconds with 5 laps to go? The lead over 4 seconds. 3 laps to go. Moore finally clears the lap cars. He's got a 5-second deficit to make up in 2 laps. Half a track lead. The white flag in the air out of turn 4 for Rusty Schlenk. He's already down the backstretch one final time. 2 left-hand turns, his 3rd win of the season for Rusty Schlenk. Kyle Moore will come home second, J.R. Gentry 3rd, Devin Shields 4th, Todd Brennan your top 5.
Right here. You'll be right over here.
Make some noise in another dominating performance for Rusty Schlenk. You keep this up, we're going to have to put a bounty on you.
I like bounties.
I mean, you're stinking the place up. You were ahead by 5 seconds with 2 to go. I mean, unreal. This car, you tried every groove on the racetrack, and every groove worked.
Yeah, man, and the weird thing is, like, I didn't even feel that good. I was searching all over there because nothing really felt good in any line. Like, I knew I had good speed, but the car just wasn't where I wanted it. So it's crazy how good this thing is in every line. And I mean, if we beat him by 5 seconds, man, the thing must have been awesome. But it just tells me there's a little bit of speed left in this. So I'm excited. Once we find that speed, man, I'm really excited about that.
3 in a row for Rusty Schlenk. Does this mean you're going to race here with us every week now?
I don't know if we'll be here every week. We're gonna chase that Ironman deal again. So that's my number one goal, is to win that and go for the UMP national points. So we got a good start in the national points. We're 4 in a row. So hopefully we can win that national deal. I haven't won that thing since, man, like 2018. So it'd be nice to win that and that Ironman deal, and then you guys will see me on the off nights.
Rusty Schlenk gets it done for the 3rd time this season here at Attica Raceway Park. Here they come. Make some noise, Attica Raceway Park. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here at Attica Raceway Park, it's time to take a drive for 25. Casey Zeeble looking for first sprint car win, takes the lead out of turn number 2. Zach Kramer in the 2nd, Tyler Schulich 3rd, John Ivey 4th, Jamie Miller into the 5th spot. Casey Zeeble pulling away slightly, likes that bottom line. Into 2nd goes Tyler Schulich. Jamie Miller now into the 4th spot. The lead, 0.7 of a second over Tyler Schulich. Good race for 3rd. Now Zach Kramer, Jamie Miller, John Ivey. Casey Zeeble leads the charge in the 1 and 2 on the bottom of the racetrack. Tyler Schulich had been reeling her in. He had knocked half a second off her lead. Here he comes to the high side to 3 and 4. New leader, Tyler Schulich. Zeeble fights back to the inside. Good race back here between John Ivey, Dustin Stroop, and Steve Arando for that 5th position. Seth Schneider, Blaine Kettler going to join that fun. 8 laps in. Jamie Miller gets around Zeeble for the 2nd spot. Sets his sights on the 61 of Tyler Schulich. Miller down to the inside. Schulich runs middle of the racetrack. Miller right on his rear bumper. He'll go down to the bottom of 1 and 2, slide up in front of Schulich, uses the horse track and more. Jamie Miller to the lead. Down complete lap 11, Jamie Miller your leader, Tyler Schulich in 2nd, Casey Zeeble 3rd, 4th, Zach Kramer 5th, John Ivey behind them. A tremendous battle for 6. Dustin Stroop, Seth Schneider, Blaine Keckler, Matt Foose, Steve Rando. Lap traffic ahead for your leader. Seth Schneider spins in turn 4 to bring out the caution. Behind Paul Weaver, who has 71 305 victories. John Ivey around Zach Kramer into the 4 spot. Kramer off the racetrack. Looks like he's going to go pits. Brandon Moore stops in turn 2. Zach Kramer off the high side of 3 and 4, also coasting to a stop. Bring back out. Tyler Schulich stays right with Jamie Miller in 1 and 2. Blaine Keckler into the 4 spot. 4M on the move now. Ten laps to go. Keckler into the 3rd spot. Casey Siebold fights back to the inside. The lead, 1.5 seconds for Jamie Miller. Jamie Miller on cruise control with 8 laps to go. His lead, 2.2 seconds. Good race for the 4 spot now. Casey Siebold and Matt Foose as Blaine Keckler moves into the top 3. Your leader into lap traffic. Jamie Miller, Tyler Schulich, Blaine Keckler, Matt Foose, Casey Siebold, your top 5. 5 laps to go. Matt Foose up the challenge. Blaine Keckler for the 3rd spot. Again, Matt Foose started 15th in this one. Throw a blanket on 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. They go 3 wide out of turn 2 for the runner-up spot. Blaine Keckler to the outside. Wow, what a battle for 2nd. Tyler Schulich, Blaine Keckler, Matt Foose. Meanwhile, Jamie Miller pulling away. 2 laps to go. His lead almost 3 seconds. White flag in the air out of turn 4 for Jamie Miller and 3 in a row. He's down the backstretch one final time. Through turns 3 and 4. His 47th career win here at Attica for Jamie Miller. Tyler Schulich in 2nd. Blaine Keckler 3rd, Matt Foose 4th, and Dustin Stroop your top 5. 3 in a row, just like Rusty Schlenk. Once you got in the lead, you were kind of gone in this, but there was a hell of a battle back there for second. Your little young protege, Blaine Keckler, had put on a heck of a show. He got nipped at the line. He got third.
That's good for him. I mean, I'm glad he's listened to me, and he don't have to go through most of the struggles that I went through trying to figure this out. And he's starting to learn a little bit and finishing races, and in order to win, you got to finish.
There you go. I don't know what else to say about this car. It doesn't matter if it's heavy racetrack, slick racetrack, you want to run the top, you want to run the bottom, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, this car is badass, to say the least. It was a pleasure to drive tonight. It pretty much just did all the work. I was just along for the ride. Makes me look good.
Well, I'm looking at the tire. You didn't even abuse it. It got slick out there, and it looks good. I think you might get hot laps out of that tomorrow.
Yeah, that tire's been on here every night so far.
Well, there you go. That's how you're supposed to do it. Congratulations. I know there's some people you want to thank, Jamie.
Yeah, Ryan, my wife, everybody that helps out on this thing. We couldn't do it without them, and all the fans that come out and support us every night.
Jamie Miller gets it done, third straight win here at Attica Raceway Park to wrap it up. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. Thank you, race teams. Thank you.